So, what I'm talking about tonight is on the topic a job is a pathway, not a destination. A job is a pathway, not a destination. I used to listen to this preacher that has gone to be with the Lord. By the way, this is not a Christian topic, so you can stick around if you are not a Christian. I'm just making reference. I listened to Kenneth again, and in explaining some biblical principles, he used to make this point in explaining some things that people tend to fall on a ditch. By the way, for the people that are just joining, the topic is a job is a pathway, not a destination. So back to the reference I was making, the analogy. Again used to say people used to fall on a ditch on either side of the truth, of the path of truth. Meaning, if this path is the truth, people tend to fall on the ditch on the right side or on the left side. But it doesn't matter the path you fall into, long as you are not on the path, you are not on the path. Long as you are not on the path, you are wrong. It doesn't matter if you are on the left or you are on the right. So what am I trying to say? There are two groups of people when it comes to their mentality about what a job is. We have some people that believe that a job is, they have this mentality that just go to school, get a good degree, get a job and start making money from a job till you retire and you start receiving pension. Actually, this is, to some extent, it's a wrong mentality about the way people see a job. It's a wrong mentality about life. Then on the other side, I'm still going to talk about that. On the other side, we also have some people that, they say this, which is true, that you cannot get wealthy doing a job, which is true actually. But based on that, they now decided that they are never, that a job is a bad thing. Nobody should go get a job. Everybody should just become an entrepreneur directly. Also, that is also not right. That is also false. So we are, like I listed earlier, I said we have people that believe a job that is all that there is. They never think of starting a business. That is wrong. But at the same time, those that believe you should never get a job, you should just start a business directly, most of the time too, that is wrong. So I have 3 points here. By the way, this is my first time doing a live video, so just take me as I am. I'm going to get better with time. Yeah, God help us. So the first point is, what is a job? Now stick around. I bet you've never had this definition before for a job. A job is a place where you get paid to learn. A job is a place where you get paid to learn. You can see now that based on that definition, a lot of people get it wrong what a job really is. A job is not a place where a job in itself is not going to get you wealthy. A job in itself is not going to give you security in life, at least for life. Maybe for a short while it's going to, but most likely you cannot rely on a job for your whole life, for finances and all that. But a job is at least a place where you get paid to learn, and there's an advantage to having a job compared to, the most people, when it's come to learning, the only platform, the only institution they know about for learning is the school. But you see, you have more advantage at a job. School is good, of course. In fact, to get some good job, you need to have a good degree. I'm just comparing both together in the aspect of education. At school, you learn, most time at school, you only learn theories. And I believe we all know that most time in theories, you don't really get to learn how to solve real life problems. And that is what they teach you at school. So school does not exactly prepare you into becoming someone that can actually solve a real life problem. But you see, at a job, you get to learn practically. So you are more prepared at a job for solving real life problem. So I'm just listing the advantages of a job. A job is a place where you get paid to learn. So you learn practically, which is better than what you learn at school, but you also still get paid for it. Can you imagine? You see, at school, you pay them to learn. You pay to learn at school, but at a job, you get paid to learn. Okay, I think I'm spending too much time on that point. I'll get better. Like I said, this is my first time. Okay, so the second point is a job gives you support system while you build your future. Now, I've been saying it and repeating it that a job will not, you are not most likely not going to get wealthy based on salary. A job will not get you wealthy. So for you to get wealthy, people might get wealthy through compounding, leveraging on compounding investments, through a job indirectly. But most people, if you check maybe look up the top 100 richest people in the world or top 100 richest people in Nigeria, for instance, you realize that a lot of them are actually business owners. They own a business. None of them, in fact, I believe if you check top 1,000 people, richest people in the world, none of them is a salary earner. None of them gets there by earning a salary. You understand? So, but you see, a lot of people that start, even though it is business, like successful business that get people wealthy, but yet a lot of people that start a business, they started when they are at a job. Because you see, most time when it comes to entrepreneurship, the money will not start coming immediately. You know, when you have a salary job, it is fixed that at the end of the month I'll get paid. But when you start a business, the salary will not come in immediately. So most people that actually start a successful business, I wish I can give examples. There are a lot of them. If you look it up, you'll see. But I think Bill Gates had a job before he started Microsoft too. I hope I'm not. But I believe we should know this, that so a job, the purpose of a job is when you are working on your own startup, when you are working on your own business, a job is what you leverage on to sustain you. Because most people that start a business, they don't get paid in the early stage of the business. So, and you are doing a job, maybe you are passionate about your business and all that, but you see, passion will not feed you. Passion for your job will not feed you. You need money to at least survive while you are working on your business. So that is the role of a job. A job in itself will not get you wealthy, but a job is a platform you can leverage on to sustain yourself when you are actually working on something that can actually get you wealthy. So a jobs give you support system where you build your future. There are some other advantages you get at a job. For instance, at a job, you get to build relationship. Job gives you access to relationship. There are some companies that were started, and the ideas behind the company was, I think I once looked up, well, I did not really go dive deep into it, but I was making research on Piggyvest, and this platform was started by two people or more. They were friends, I think, but I'm not actually sure if they met at a job. The point is, at a job, you can easily meet like-minded people that you can come together to work aside on a project that can eventually become big in the future. That's one of the advantages of a job. At a job, you get access to people, to relationship that can convert, that can connect you to other people. Job is one of the places you get connections. Okay, that's just the point. Because to get wealthy in life, one of the main thing, if not the biggest thing you need, is relationship, connections. And one of the places you get good connections is at your job. And then you have industry inside. That's the last thing under a job support, gives you support system. Let me just go to the last point, the third point. A job can lead you to breakthrough ideas. Now this is the most interesting part. I have this story. At some point, I don't know if you guys know, Steve Wozniak is the co-founder of Apple iPhones. So Steve Wozniak was an employee at, I don't know the pronunciation, but HP company, HP computer, HP laptop. I'm very sure we are familiar with HP laptop. Can you call Packard? I can't remember, but HP. So Steve Wozniak was an employee at HP. So at that time, that was years ago, I think decades ago, not centuries, decades ago. So at that point in time, HP was manufacturing computers, but at that time, computer was very expensive. Computers were not made for personal use at that time. It was made for, computers were made for industries and factories, businesses, because now anybody can afford a computer, but back then it was meant. In fact, for you to be able to operate a computer at that time, you need to literally study. You need to be an engineer to be able to operate a computer. So it was during the time that Steve Wozniak was working at Apple that he through it was at the job that he got an idea that there's a way we can actually build this computer that the average people will be able to gain access to it, and they will be able to operate the computer even without being a tech nerd like that, even without being an engineer or something. So that was, he got the idea. My point is, a job can lead you to breakthrough idea. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm talking about the story of Steve Wozniak. He got the idea and he took it to the company, the head of the company, but they did not take him serious. So that was how he left HP and he co-founded Apple with Steve Jobs. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, that person, Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. So had it been that Steve Wozniak was not an employee at HP, it is possible that he will never get an idea of that breakthrough company. Had it been that this guy never worked at HP company, we may not have any such thing as Apple today. So one of the advantages of a job is when you are working in a field, especially in a field that you are an expert in, you can easily, most companies that are available today, they did not necessarily build up based on a totally new idea. Rather, they leverage on a solution that is in existence already. They just optimize it a bit and they start selling it as their own product. That was the same thing that happened with Steve Wozniak. So one of the advantages of a job is you can get ideas to start your own company at your job. So I mentioned 3 point. I'll be going off this live very soon. And actually, this is my first time. I think it's not that bad. I'll get better actually. So the first point is, a job is a place where you get paid to learn. Then a job gives you support system while you build your future or your startup company. Then the last one, a job leads you to breakthrough idea. So this